Hey, so I'm back with another design team project for Tresors de Luxe. This time for the month of November, I've decided to start doing some Christmas ornaments. So I have used a lot of the beautiful laces, trims, bling from the Tresors de Luxe store for these projects. And as usual, if you keep watching, you'll see a little bit about how this came together, but you know, it's not reinventing the wheel here or anything. So let me just kind of go over what I did here. You can kind of see the trims here that I've used for the background. And what I did down here is I have sewn some of the bells. You can hear it. I've sewn some of the bells into the flower centers on this little trim. So there's this trim right here in the background, and then another dangle trim over the border of this trim right here. And before I adhered it on top of this trim, I had hand sewn these bells into the flower centers, and then I adhered it all down using hot glue actually. So this is another applique piece that I cut out of a piece of trim that I already had bought from Lucy's store quite a while back, way before I was ever on her design team. And then I used a little resin piece that I had poured. This is one of my resin pieces from a mold. And a little cameo here. I thought the color in this cameo complemented Lucy's flower here beautifully. And what I did with this flower is just on the bottom layer of the petals, I did take some microfine glitter by Martha Stewart in gold, just to kind of tie in with the rest of the gold that's going on here on my little Christmas hanging. And I did edge it just around those petals, and then I poured the micro glitter on it. And I love this flower. I think it is so pretty, especially with a little bling in the center. I had stamped in sepia ink this little Merry Christmas from a Tim Holtz stamp set onto just cotton muslin that I had just torn a strip, apart and stamped on top of, just to have a little something there. And I did line the back of this with some cardstock. It's just a Christmas Carol paper cardstock. And I used this little hanger, this right here, just some trim, inexpensive trim that I got from Walmart. That, as you can see, it's just kind of balled up because it's wired. So I just kind of balled it up right there so that it would act as a stopper. And I did set gold eyelets, extra wide gold eyelets here, and then ran that through. And now that, whoops, now that can hang on my tree. So I really love the way this turned out. I plan on doing a shabby chic tree. I started my ornaments a little too late this year, so I'm not going to be able to do it this year, but at least I've started on my ornaments, and I'll be good to go next year. Should have started this way earlier. So this is the first ornament. And then you get to these glass ornaments that I altered from Michael's. And let's just start at the top here. And what it is, I took this beautiful trim, and pretty much all the trim pieces that I used from Lucy's store, from Tresors de Luxe, I had cut and appliqued. So everything is just appliqued onto all my ornaments here. And these are just some doily connector pieces that I used just to kind of tie these two sides together because there was a big gaping hole there. But oh my gosh, I just love the way that this wrapped around on my ornament. And I like the way it looks on the clear ornament too, because you can see through it, and I don't know, I just think it's so pretty. And then I used some of the these pink roses also from the Tresors de Luxe store. And then I've got a couple little small ones here. And I just kind of trimmed with some flat back pearls and also some fused pearls. I did the same thing over here on this side. And I did wrap some of that fused pearl around the top of this, you know, where this slides on. So, but this just wrapped beautifully around here. I love, love, love this trim. So think it turned out wonderfully. And then this one, I frosted the glass on this one, and if you keep watching, you'll see how that came about. And after I frosted it with the spray, I, you know, let it dry, and then I started adhering the different pieces. Again, this is that older trim that I already had purchased from Lucy's store quite a while back. Another, just some millinery flowers that I had, just to tie in with that same, you know, color scheme that I have going on here with the flower there and then the dusty rose flowers there. Dusty pink flowers, I mean. And then I cut apart a piece of the bling trim from Tresors de Luxe right here. And it's the same on both sides. I just did a mirror image. But there's a piece of that trim right there, or bling trim, whatever you want to call it. And then what I did on the bottom here is I made a little dangle with a bead cap. I used a silver bead cap to kind of match the top here. But, and then the doily is hiding underneath. And like I say, if you keep watching, you'll see how this came together as well. And just, you know, just some fibers sticking out and some more of those fused pearls. So I think that this is going to be really pretty on a tree. So excited with the way it turned out. And again, I did do the fused pearls at the top. And then on this one, oh my gosh, I love this one. This is the one that I was finally able to use one of the appliques that I gotten in a previous design team package. And this whole thing wrapped all the way around my ornament here, all the way to the back. And again, it's just a perfectly, this is the perfect, this kind of trim is perfect for having like a dangle Christmas ornament for your tree. Again, this is going to look so lovely on a tree. And then the only thing I did was take another one of Lucy's trims from Tresors de Luxe, and I snipped the center part out and set it, you know, over the top here. And this trim is, hold on a second, if I can find it. Okay, sorry about that. I wanted to find this trim because it's kind of hard looking at it right now because you see it right here. But it's this one, this trim right here that's in Tresors de Luxe store. And I trimmed all around so that I just had this little centerpiece. And then I snipped this so that it just slid right over the opening. I'm doing a really horrible job of explaining this, I know, but if you keep watching, you'll see how I did the doily one right here that I used over the top here. And it's the exact same way that I cut it the exact same way with this trim right here so that it was fit perfectly on top. So I love that. And then I just used a little wintry looking flower here. So I just love the way that these turned out. I think they are just beautiful, beautiful ornaments. I'm really excited about putting you know, this kind of a tree together, and maybe next year I'll be able to do a video here on YouTube of the tree completely decorated. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. But if you keep watching, you will see how this came together. And I, as usual, will put all the links down below to the Tresors de Luxe website and the store. So please go check it out. There's so many beautiful trims in there to start doing your Christmas decoration. And I'll also post the link. Tresors de Luxe has a new Facebook challenge page. And I'll talk more about that later this month when I do my project for that challenge page. But I'll also put the link down below so you can go ahead and check that out as well. There's prizes involved. And if you're interested, just keep watching and you can see how some of this came together. Alright, you guys, I will see you later. Okay, I had a gluing disaster on one of my glass ornaments. So I did not want this to go to waste. I thought about just trashing it, and I was like, no, let me just wipe the glass of the glue. And because I'm having like gluing issues. So I took a bamboo skewer, cut it in half so that I can put the pointy end down here in my little, you know, I use these for my stick pins when I'm doing them while I'm waiting for glue to dry. So I'm going to stick this like so. I'm going to put my little, that would sit flat. Try to bend this box. This is my spray box. And okay. Well, that's doing a really crap job. What's the center fold point right here is angled up, so my little square isn't sitting flush like it should. Okay, so what I have is this Valspar frosting spray that I got from Lowe's. And you're supposed to do this outside, but I never do. Alright, and what I'm going to do is first of all make sure I've got all the gunk off of this. I'm such a klutz. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, and I'm going to start spraying this. It doesn't feel like it's mixed up very well, but oh boy. Just trying to make sure I get it all over really good. Okay. Alright, while I pass out from the fumes, I'm going to let that dry and be back. Okay, I just wanted to come back and show you what I'm doing for the center of this piece right here. I took a little connector piece from a doily. Actually, it's from a tablecloth, a little connector piece, and I have snipped it on 4 sides. So I just took my scissors, just snipped it 4 even sides here. And I'm using that right here on the center of my piece, like so. Just so that it kind of ties it all together here. And it's a perfect fit, so I don't have to do any more trimming here. And then what I'm going to do is come in with some of this, you know, beaded trim, and I'm just going to further embellish this out, and I'm going to do 2 rows here with hot glue. I'm going to glue this down, just 2, and like so. I don't know if you can see that. So like so. And then what'll happen is my little top piece will come back on like so. It's hard to do one-handed. I'm trying to hold, well anyway, you get the idea, because this isn't going to work until I get it glued down, but you know, just to have that a little bit further embellished. So I did want to show you how I did that right there. And then I'm going to put another couple of little doily pieces here as a connector for the 2 appliques that I've used, and further embellish this with some flat back pearls and or maybe some bling. I don't know yet. I'm still working that part out, but I did want to just show you how this is coming together. Hey, I've already started gluing my applique down, but I wanted to show you how that frosted glass turned out. So after it dried, it actually turned out really good. much better than what it looked like wet on that stick. So I like how that turned out, and it did cover up my previous mistake. So I did not waste this glass ball. Now, let me tell you why I had that mistake. I'm running into a problem. My hot glue, and here's another tip, if you're going to do this, you really do need to have the fine applicator tip, because I was finding that my glue was showing through. I don't like to have the glue be seen, and I was running into a problem with that even with this fine applicator tip. And glue strings are also an issue, so this was like just kind of a pain to clean up around these areas, the open areas where you're seeing some of that. So I thought, oh, let me try and run the applique through my Xyron. Well, had a problem with that too, because what happens on the Xyron is that any open areas here is that sticky stuff, you have a lot of lap over. So you see that. So I had to go in with a Q-tip in between all these holes and use the Goo Gone just to clean it up. So that didn't work either. So now I'm back to using this, but I'm just being a lot more careful. I'm making sure that when I lay my glue down on the piece, like I'll just show you like right here on this, and it's tedious work, incredibly tedious work. I usually don't like working like this because I'm a lazy crafter, but for this project I am, because I really want some ornaments for my tree. But you just want to make sure that when you're doing this, you get only where fine line where you're going to be putting your thing, and make sure you do the little like that, so that you don't have any glue strings anywhere. And you know, you just like I said, you just have to be kind of really precise with it. Otherwise you're going to have a lot of mess you're going to have to clean up. And like, see, I have a little glue string, and it's because I'm trying to record while I'm doing this and not able to get on top of it like I would if I was sitting here and not worried about the recording. But anyway, that's the process of doing it. I just wanted to throw that out there as a tip. So you really do need to have the fine tip, and you just need to be really precise with your glue. You can't go all willy-nilly with your glue gun like you do on most projects, because when you're working on a clear glass like this, you don't want anything to be seen. So, okay, I'll be back. Okay, now I have just like these little random bits of pieces. The pearl strand that I've cut to match the top. Am I in frame? There we go. Top here, just some little other fibers, a little delicate lace, some yarn pieces, and then a little strip of torn muslin right here. And I'm going to take some floral wire, just really thin, super thin floral wire. And what I'm going to do is snip a piece of that off. If I can find my cutters. Here we go. Here's my cutters, and I'm just going to snip that off like so. And then I'm going to lay it out here on my, let me see if I can get close. I've got so much crap strewn all over my desk now, so let me get close in. Stuff I'm working on out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to take that piece of wire, set it here, and then I'm going to start layering my little pieces here, like so. And just kind of centering it in here the best that I can. I'm not measuring anything. Then I'm going to take my little pearl strand and then just kind of top it. There is no rhyme or reason. I'm just putting it in here. And then what I'm going to do is take this up, try to get a grip underneath. See, my fingers are sticky. That's the reason why I was trying to avoid touching it. I'm just going to pull it up. And twist this around. Get it super tight. Twist it around. Like so. Okay, so that's in there really good now. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread this through my bead cap. And I'm doing that off camera because I have to have this right up to my eyeball. Okay, I can't do it unless this is even. So these are uneven at the top, so I'm just going to snip it so that they're even. So it's easier to thread through your little bitty hole up here. And, oh my God, I had it and then I just lost it again. Okay. So, whoops. So like so, I've threaded it through the top there. And I'm just pulling it really, really tight, like so. So that I have my little dangle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie this off at the top. Let me try to do this while I'm in frame. Tie it off and I'm going to twist, 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 twist. I keep going out of frame. I can't watch this and my camcorder, so sorry. Okay, so I'm twisting that. And then I'm going to leave a little bit. See, that's just coming back in. I thought if I twisted it enough, it would. That's not going to work. What I'm trying to do is figure out how to knot this at the top. Because what I'm going to do is snip off these wire ends here. Then I'm going to use another connector piece, like so. And then attach this to the bottom of my, here, let me just do it like this. Maybe that's how I'll do this. So I'm going to thread it through that so that's centered on my connector piece. And maybe I'll, yeah, I think I'm going to do it this way. And then I'll spread those two wires like so. Snipping off. So that it won't show when I glue this down. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to glue this to the bottom of my ornament like that. Glue that down. And I'm doing a really horrible job showing this. I'm really sorry, you guys. But that's basically what it's going to look like. I'll show this at the beginning of the video so you can see how it is. I'm going to glue this down, and once I get it glued down, this is how it's going to look right here. Oh, so so I just wanted to show you how I did that, just so if anybody has any questions. Okay, I'll be back. I really like getting swatch books from eBay because it's a really easy, I shouldn't say easy, it's a really inexpensive way to get a lot of different fabric swatches without having to buy actual yardage of material, which can be really costly. So I go to eBay and get swatch books, and then immediately when I get them, I tear them apart, get rid of the staples, which you can see the staple marks right here at the top. So that's the first thing I do, just to save space. But the other thing is because it's easier for me to go through them this way. I know you'd think in a book form it would be easier, but it's not. And plus, when it comes to pulling them off, it's just easier to just do it all at once, and because you're going to have to pull it out to get the full piece unless you cut it. So anyway, and of course, you know, when you're getting these swatch books, you also get a dud when it comes to, you know, Not all the patterns you're gonna like. I've been fortunate so far. Most of the books I've bought, the patterns and the textures and everything I really like. But every now and then you'll get some kind of a dud in there. Like, hello. But you know, who knows? You may still find a use for that somewhere. So what I'm doing right now is I am trying to find a background for my next ornament that I'm going to do. And I'm doing like a little fabric hanging, which is why I grabbed these swatches, because it's perfect for that. I'm doing a little fabric hanging for my tree, another ornament. And I want to use this really pretty flower that I got in a previous design team package. I just love this. And I like the little bling on it. I think that'll be pretty hanging off the tree. I had this leftover piece that I cut off of a lace trim for my glass ornaments that I've been doing. And I had this frame that I had poured with resin on one of my molds. And then I have this other little cameo piece, and I thought that cameo piece was the perfect color to match my flower. So this is how it all started. This is how it came together for me. I was like, ooh, I want to use that. So I wanted to use these together. But now I'm trying to find like a background piece. And I'm going to further embellish this too, but this is just my starting off point. And I just kind of, like I said, wanted to share, you know, how it starts to come together for me. So right now I'm going through my swatches and just trying to find a background for me to lay this out on so I can start putting this thing together. So I'll be back.